Good day, everyone. I wish to welcome you to this recording, this session. My name is Nixo Itasan of the West. Today, I'm going to be training you on how to do research, the best research sites, and how you can implement the research to ensure that you are very fast in the process. I'm going to start by sharing my screen and taking you to the areas or taking you to the sites and start explaining to you about research. The one thing I wish for us to understand is that research is one of the most important things when it comes to academic writing. Research is very important as it determines the kind of work you're going to come up with, whether it's going to become mediocre work or it's going to become A-grade work. Therefore, it's important that during this session, you listen keenly and you implement each and everything that we are talking about when it comes to matters research. Research basically, in our introductory, we talked about credible sources for our work, and we looked at APA format of writing and MLA format of writing, and we have briefly talked about a reference page that comes on the last page, that comes on an independent page from the content. For example, if you've been taught to write a single page on maybe positive reinforcement, then it means that when you have to put your references, your reference page is going to be the second page. Your reference page is going to be the last page of your work. Therefore, it's important that you take cognizance of that point. Your reference or work cited page comes as the last page of your work. If you're doing your work in APA format and you're doing one page, then it means your work will have 3 pages. But the number of pages that are going to be paid is the single one page that is the content page, which is going to come katikati. So in APA format of writing, you're going to have the title page, the content page, then the reference page. I also wish to tell you that reference page must appear on an independent page, a new page. Even if the content you've written does not reach the very last point of that paper, it is only key that you understand that the reference must come on the next page, independent. It should not be mixed with the content. Therefore, if your content goes halfway of a page, then your reference page has to come to the other page, a new page completely. Therefore, your work should not be confusing. I hope you have understood that one. Now, we have sources that are very much allowed when it comes to doing your research. Number one, we have the Google Scholar. Google Scholar is the number one and the highly recognized or highly verified website for doing research. It gives you an opportunity to get your references and just paste them on your reference page. You do not need to struggle coming up with the reference. You do not need to struggle coming up with a reference. But basically what you do is that everything, and I mean everything, everything is given for you. Now you're going to do your reference hapo, or you are just going to copy the reference from the Google Scholar, paste it on your reference page, then extract your in-text citation and put within your work. There are other websites which are not allowed. Number one is the Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not allowed when it comes to doing research because some of the information there is not verified. Therefore, when you use it, it might not be true to say that everything that you've written there is authentic. Some materials are just written basically for money, but they are not verified or proven by the institutions. But for Google Scholar, the learning institutions, each and every data that is put on that platform, on that website, is verified and authenticated to be true. Therefore, the first thing you do is that you go to your Google browser, you go to your Chrome browser, look up for the word, look up for Google Scholar, Google Scholar citations. You select Google Scholar. you're right here. We're talking about positive reinforcement, or rather, let's say, impacts of COVID-19 to the economy. Impact COVID-19 to the economy. Here we have the articles talking about COVID-19, effect of COVID-19 on the economy. Therefore, if you're talking about the economy of the United States, you're going to indicate impacts of COVID-19 to the economy of the United States. Then maybe it's the impacts of COVID-19 to the Turkish economy, to the Kenyan economy. But again, I did say that when you come here, that is not just enough. Looking at this data is not enough. The other thing that you do is that you need to, your information has to be falling within a range of 5 years from where you are, 5 years kurudi nyuma. It should be from the point you are 5 years backwards. Therefore, at no single time should you use references that are very much backward. You have to use the most recent information or most recent data. However, that is exempted for the case of studies like law and studies like history. History remains to be history. History does not change. Therefore, it's very important that history, you are going to use any data from any year, be it 19 BC, be it 10 BC, 1930, 1920, 1810, 1430. It depends on what you've been asked. But if it comes to matters, technology and matters that are affecting us at these times, then it is important to use the most recent data, the most recent information. For example, now, when you want to set your information to find it within the closest range of the years, you are going to press the custom range that appears on the left side of your screen, where my cursor is currently. Custom range. After pressing custom range, you're going to input the range of years from which you want your data to be shown here. So it's going to be between the years of 2015 and the years of 2021. But remember, COVID-19, as per now, it is a pandemic that started in 2020. Therefore, we are going to look at data from 2020 to 2021. That is the data we are going to simply look at. That is the data we're going to look at. There we go. So we are going to look at the data ranging between the years of 2020 to 2021, because COVID-19 is a pandemic that struck and is within the range of 1 year. Therefore, it's important that you make that setting right. Once you make that setting right, then you're good to go, The other thing is that once you've gotten these articles, probably not all of them are going to be relevant to what you're talking about. Not all of them are going to be relevant to what you want. You want the impacts of COVID-19 to the US economy, or the impacts of COVID-19 to the Kenyan economy. Therefore, you are strictly going to look at the effects of COVID-19 to the economy. Therefore, you're going to look at these articles. You critically analyze them. You look at them very well, and look for the one that seems to be working for you, that seems to be bringing your point home. The one that seems to be bringing your point home. Therefore, I can decide to go with this one over here. I can decide to go with that one. But remember, for such like an issue and impacts of COVID-19 to the economy, most of the things that have happened in other countries have happened almost everywhere. If it's reduction in taxes being collected, it's happened everywhere because businesses were shut. When it comes to learning institution, there was no learning. Therefore, all means of earning for the government was reduced, resulting in what we call an economic downturn. Therefore, once I've opened that article, I'm simply here and I'm looking at some of the highlights. You look at that article very well. Initially, you're going to get an abstract. The abstracts are there. The abstracts are there. You look at the abstract part of the work and see whether it's talking about what you want to talk about. Most of the abstracts are going to simply, or rather, I told you the abstract simply give an overview of whatever your work entails, an overview of what your work entails, and the steps or methodologies you've used in coming up with the work you're talking about. Therefore, it's important that you look at that. Therefore, I'm going to read this article. You go through it and see like how has it affected the economy? The disruption of pharmaceutical industry in China had impact on other countries where the prices of life-saving drugs increased due to shortage of raw materials from China. As the Chinese industry had ceased production, the global prices of raw materials like metals fell all over, leading to major slowdown in the various metal-producing economies. Therefore, some of the effects, you're just simply going to be looking at it and writing it as your topic sentence, then expanding on it largely. For example, if it's now the disruption of pharmaceutical industry in China, so you're simply going to copy this and paste it on your browser and find out exactly what resulted in the disruption of the pharmaceutical industry, or what steps resulted in this scale up in the prices resulting to a low economy. What is that? Therefore, it's important that you look at that. Then once you're done and I've used this article, I'm simply going to, I want to make a reference of it on my reference page. Simply what you do, you are going to press the quotation marks appearing on that article, the reference pages, the quotation marks. After pressing it, maybe I'm writing in MLA format of writing. Simply what I'm going to do, I'm going to left click on the MLA format of writing, left click on my mouse, or left click on your laptop pad, then you copy. You go to your reference page and copy and paste that work. You take that work and paste it there. If it's in APA format of writing, I'm going to simply press this one here, left click, copy, then I go and paste on my reference page, the other side. I paste on my reference page of my work. Then again, it's not enough. For a single page, the minimum number of references you ought to have are 3. Therefore, you look for another article again. You look for another article again that is relevant to what you're doing. Look at what you're doing. So global economy, you're going to press the quotations over there. Maybe you've read that article and you've written some of the information you've written in your body has gotten, you've gotten it from this article. So what you're going to do is, if I'm writing in a MLA format of writing, I'm simply going to left click and then copy that work. If I'm doing it in APA, I'm going to left click and copy that work. I put it there. That is very important to note, very, very important to note. Therefore, sometimes I say that the information that is provided on this Google Scholar website might not be really comprehensive. Sometimes you might find an article or you might find an instance where an article like this one, you'll open it, but it only gives the abstract. And you know, the abstract might not be able to give you the comprehensive outlook of the topic under discussion. It might not give you the comprehensive outlook on the topic of discussion. Therefore, you'll be forced to use other means to get that data so that your work reaches the standards that are expected, so that your work attains the levels of the standards required of a good work. At that point in juncture, what you're going to do, you're simply just going to look up for the very same topic, impacts of COVID-19 to the economy. Impacts of COVID-19 to the economy. I'm going to copy that. Then I go to my Chrome browser or Google browser. I'm simply going to paste that information there. I've pasted, then I look up for it. So I'm going to look at these articles. I see which one is working for me. If you're talking about the economy of America, economy of USA, the economy of United States of America. So I'm going to look up for that. So right here, we have different articles talking about the same. Therefore, you're going to look at them and analyze which one best suits. You might not necessarily find it on a first instance, but you'll have to look at some of these subtitles to see which one best answers or best looks at what you're talking about. What is it? So maybe let's say the first one here is more comprehensive for me. So I'm going to simply open it. I'm going to open it. This is a very good reference. So I'm going to read through. I'm going to read through. So you're going to follow through on the impacts of COVID-19 to the economy. You see, you get your points. You get your points and explain them. You look at them, open very well. If it does not answer you still, you look for another article. I look at for another article all over again. So you read through and you see, like, how has it affected? How has it affected? Because this article, you don't read everything, but you just throw your eyes to see the points, the major points, and once you find the point, you expound on it. Once you find on it, you expound on it. So here, for example, is the economy. The COVID-19 resulted in unemployment. That is a topic sentence you're talking about to give more flesh to your thesis statement, which is COVID-19 has diverse impacts on the economy, and ways of downscaling it need to be put in place by the government. Therefore, that is your thesis statement, simply explaining the topic under discussion, which is effects of COVID-19 to the US economy. Then you're giving recommendations, or rather, some of the steps that the government should take to ensure that it does not have the adverse effects on the economy. Then the other thing, the US economy is primarily driven by consumer spending. Where the consumer spends, so companies' profits and the economy is good. So it led to reduction in consumer spending, which resulted in reduced profits for companies, downscaling the economy. I hope you're seeing that point. I've extracted that point over here from this one. So that is my second paragraph, the second paragraph of my work. So if it's that one, I'm going to read part of this and expand on it clearly, on like how has it resulted in a reduction in consumer spending? How has it led to that? I expand on it thoroughly. Therefore, once I'm done with looking at the key points from this article, after looking at the key points from this article, what I'm simply going to do, I'm simply going to look at it. And I think I've read there. For the trick is, once you have this one, you're simply going to go back to your Google Scholar. Go back to your Google Scholar. For example, you've gotten your information about the economy on the US economy, USA, your impacts was on USA economy. So this is how you do your first research but they are still credible. They are well, but very credible for academic writing. The internet is a little bit slow with that. But now you're going to come here. Now, once the results have come on the effects of COVID-19 to the US economy, you're going to look at the relevant article that talks about what you have discussed from this material here. We're going to look for the best article talking about what you have discussed here. You're just going to look at the subtitles. Once you get it, you're going to press the quotation marks there. After pressing the quotations, if you are talking about the quotations, that is, you look at how this one has resulted in the downturn of the US economy. So maybe let's say this one here. So what I'm simply going to do, I'm going to press these quotations marks. I was doing my work in MLA format of writing. I'm going to copy that. Then I paste it on my reference page. I copy it on my works cited page, my works cited page. After copying it there, I'm going to now use this data to do in-text citation for the material I've written already, for the content I've written. So I'm going to use this to show that this information or this data has been gotten from a particular place, this particular place. That is the end of our our research session today. Let's meet in our next session when we talk about different formats of writing. Have a good day. Thank you very much.